Hey everybody, welcome back to Doc G's Reloading. Today we're going to talk about something new I just got, and that is the Mr. Bulletfeeder Gen 2 from Double Alpha Academy. So, I connected this up here. We're going to go over some of the features in detail. I'm not going to go over a lot of it in super detail because you can go to Double Alpha's website and look those up. I'm just going to show you how I set mine up. I'm not going to do a setup video on this or an unboxing video on this. I mean, my thing is, it comes with a set of instructions. Just read the instructions. It goes together really easily. So here's my XL750. And I had a bullet feeder here. I had the mini Mr. Bulletfeeder with the cartridges that you had 6 tubes, and then you had to switch each tube every time, and sometimes I'd forget. And it was just a pain in the neck. And I said, you know what? I'm going with the motorized version. So I just did. I just said I'm just upgraded and got it. And you do need a mirror though, so make sure you get a mirror. I have a mirror there for my case feeder. I just ordered one for the bullet feeder. Unless you have a big mirror up there and you can see both, but I don't, and I'm not moving that one. That one's staying where it is, so I just ordered another one, and I'll get that soon. But yeah, you need something to see in there so that you can get to it. Some of the nice features on this one is that you have this right here. You can't really see it very well, but there are degrees marked on here. So 35, 45, 55 degrees, and you can angle it to whatever seems to work for you. And depending on your bullet, it may change. You know, if you're loading 223 or 40, you may have to change the angle a little bit, and then you can kind of write it down or make a mark on there, and it's really nice. So there's a reference line there. It's all plastic now, all injection molded plastic, so it's quieter. It doesn't make any noise at all. I'll show you that. And then this little thing back here, you just pop this with one hand, and you can have another hand right here holding it underneath to drop your bullets out and change over to a different, projectile or size projectile, whatever you want to do. But look down here. So what I did is I load 3 calibers. I load 223, I load 40 cal, and I load 9mm. I've got the 9mm in there now because that's what I kind of reload all the time. And then I got this is the 40 cal piece here. So that's where so this just replaces this up here. This is the switch here. So it's the same thing. I would just take this one off here and hook it on my other tool head, and it just goes on with a little Allen key there. Slides on the top, tighten the Allen key down, and you're on. That's your 40 cal. And then for the 223, this is your 223, obviously. It's smaller tube. And then that goes on the same way. It goes on with just a little Allen key right there in the front. And that's your switch. So that's what you would change over to your tool head for the 223 or 40 cal. Now this is the spring here. There's only 2 sizes of these springs. The large size is for 9, 40, 45, and this is for 223 or small caliber rifle rounds. Usually 223, I think, to 308 on this one. So it's really nice though. So these things now have these little this thing just goes on to the switch. So this part just goes on here, right here, and it goes on with a little Allen key, and that's it. I would recommend just go buy a set of Allen keys. You really need the 1.5 to 5. I don't need the 6mm on this, but you do need the 2, 2.5, 3, and the 5. So I just buy these. What I do is I love magnets, so I just magnet everything up there, and this is where I put all my stuff for these parts here. So anyway, that's what I do. But you're going to need a metric for this. And what's nice is, yeah, that just connects there, and then this has got a different connector on it now. So this is they call it a bayonet connector. So it only goes on one direction. You push it on and tighten it down, and that O-ring forms as your seal. So you can kind of see up here, that's right where it goes in, and that's your seal right up against it there. So really nice. And then it just comes down, and you've got your wires there connected to your switch. And then over here, so right now, if you're doing 40 cal or 10 mil, you got to get the old plastic machined version. Saul told me that they've got 223 and 9 right now for this new version. This is the new version of plate. They will be coming out with a 40 cal plate. They just haven't yet, so you get the old school one if you're ordering now. And then the other nice feature about this is this new guide up here. So this just slides in and out. Those two screws there, I'll show you up close. So those two screws there are on either side here, and those just form so that you can slide it in. It just slides into the plastic there. So, you know, you take this here, you slide it in that way, and then you're done. And then what's nice is this screw here, see if you can see this one easy. So this screw here, right here, which you would screw in from out here. So this is this screw here. And kind of see that, sorry, that screw there. And then this screw here, adjust it. These two are just guide screws. You don't touch those at all. But these other two screws adjust the height and the in and out to adjust this ramp so you don't have to use shims anymore. Really nice. It took me all of 5 minutes. And literally, I think I did a half turn on this, and I think a half turn on this, and I was rolling, and no problems at all. Now, the cool thing about this too is, with this new version, is now, see, I have 3 of these. So I have 1, 2, and then I have the third one up in the machine. So that one is all set for 9mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label that 9mm. I'm going to pull that one out, and when I go to 40 cal, I'll just grab my one that's going to say 40, and you can write on the side here, write it on the bottom, or write it wherever, put a little label on it, whatever you want to do. And then you just take this one and slide this into the machine for your 40, or I'm going to slide this into the machine for my 223. So however many calibers you're doing, you just get an extra one of these for 16 bucks, and it makes setup so much faster and caliber changes so much faster and easier. You literally just slide this in and you're all set. You don't have to make any other changes. The other thing you do is you change your plate in there, and if you need to, you change your spring, and of course you're going to change your switch when you go to the new one. But yeah, if we'll go up here real quick. Let's go up on the ladder here so you can kind of see. So there you go. So you can see the bullets in there, and you can see that, you know, one right now is, and it doesn't matter if they fall here. This doesn't matter that one fell there. That one's going to eventually get pushed back and fall back into the bin. So that doesn't matter at all. And then you can see this one's right side up, this one's upside down, but it's eventually going to get pushed by this little plate here. This is this little plate here, this thing that slides in and out, that I've adjusted with those 2 screws that I showed you. This one here and this one here. That'll make this upside down bullet go right side up, so it looks like this. And then this feed ramp here used to be super adjustable. Now it is adjustable. If you need to, there is a screw there, and you can adjust this in or out if you need to. But really, that's only if it's touching the shell plate and it's shifted during shipping. Other than that, you don't really have to touch this at all, this feed ramp. So feed ramp just sits there. I didn't adjust this at all, didn't need to. And every bullet has come out completely right side up, like it's supposed to. So, and you can see here, they're all right side up, and it gives you a little window, which is nice. So as you're going, you can check. And then I've loaded, you know, 505 rounds with this on already, and it's been working perfectly for 9mm. No problems at all. And it's super quiet. So let me shut off my case feeder there. And then we're going to try, I'm just going to do this real quick so you can kind of see that it just doesn't make any noise at all. I mean, that's it. You know, really nothing. You know, it's been great. Now I did take out my powder check station here, and you know, some people say, oh, you've got to have a powder check station, and I disagree. I have loaded 20,000 rounds of 9mm, 20,000 rounds of 40, and 20,000 rounds of 223. The powder check that I had in there, first of all, it didn't work very well for a rifle, so I kind of took it out for the rifle. But for the 40 and 9, I would say it went off maybe 10 times in those 40,000 total rounds. And when I checked, it was just because the powder hadn't settled all the way in the case. I mean, honestly, you're never gonna, I'm using Vitavori powder at about 3 grains. If I double loaded that to 6 grains, let's say, the bullet wouldn't go on. That's a 147 grain bullet. If I try to put that on there, it would bulge the case out, and the bullet wouldn't seat. So to double charge a case or to get a squib load, again, I've never had a squib load in everything that I've ever loaded. I mean, you'd have to go all the way up on the press, and then to get a squib load, I mean, again, I don't even know how you would do it, because you're going to come all the way back down for it to go across, and then that automatically resets your powder. I mean, that's why they call us a fail-safe powder regulator on the side there. So anyway, I found the powder check station useless. So that's why I went with the bullet feeder. I know some people have a powder check station here and then they put their bullet feeder here, but then they got to combine the seating and crimping, and I don't like that. I want to have this dial on my Redding seating die so that I can change from one bullet type to another. If I want to go from blue bullets to berries, all I have to do is look at my chart, change this number, and I'm off and running. I don't have to do anything else. And plus this keeps counts of my rounds. So it's like, you know, I don't agree that you have to have a powder check station. So anyway, whatever your belief is, if you want to have a powder check station, you still could, on whatever press you're using. But the nice thing about this too is this has got a potentiometer on it. So that's your off and on switch right there. And everything I run is off this power strip. So all my lights, my case feeder, anything on my press with power comes off of this white power strip. So I just shut that power strip off and everything shuts off. And then I just ran the cable up behind my little bench thing there. I just ran it in front here with a little zip tie, and then just brought it over to the machine here. And you know, to change over a caliber is really, really easy. You can get up there and just unscrew those. There's 2 bolts in there that you can undo, lift the whole thing off and do your caliber change that way. Or you can get on a little step ladder, because all you're gonna have to do is pull out this piece and pull out your shell plate. You may or may not have to change this, and you may or may not have to change this, depending on, you'll most likely have to change your switch part, but which is easily done. You just pop these 2 things off and slide your new one on, and then pop this back on. That goes on there easily. It's got a little Allen key right there. And it you know, makes caliber change really easy. So with the plate, so you just slide your new plate on, slide your new insert here, this insert here, slide your new one of these on, and then you know, you're pretty much off and running on whatever caliber change you wanted to make. But so far so good. Excellent product, super quiet, love it. Wish I would have done this a long time ago. And that's it on the Mr. Bullet Feeder from Double Alpha Academy Generation 2. Thanks again for watching Doc G's Reloading.